All right, today I'm going to be making Doritos, eggs, and cheese. Absolute goodness, if you ask me. The first thing you're going to need is Doritos. You're going to need eggs, 100% United States All-American eggs, which I have right here. Absolute goodness. And you're going to need some triple cheddar cheese. And if you don't have triple, you could possibly use double or single cheddar cheese. Absolute goodness. Now let's get started. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to go ahead and turn on my cooking pan. All right, so I'm going to turn it on to about a medium, and get that heaterated. And while that's heaterating, I'm going to go ahead and take my eggs and crack-a-lack them inside of a bowl right here. All right, so I'm going to crackleize them inside of a bowl, just like that. And then I'm going to take a spoon or a fork and mix them up. Absolute goodness. Now you want to mixturate them up so they're perfectly blended and the whites of the eggs are permeated with the yolks of the egg. Absolute goodness. So once you have that mixturated in there, you're going to take your Doritos. And I ate a lot of the Doritos beforehand, so there is some left in there, but I probably shouldn't eat that much. I'm going to crush them gently, all right? Not too much. You don't want them into a fine powder, but just gently, all right? So you have it like that. Absolute goodness. Come up into the screen and smell the Doritos. Absolute goodness. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit close to that so you can see that. All right, so you have that, and then you're just going to go ahead and pour this inside of the bowl. All right, and just like that. And you are going to slightly mixturate them, not too hard, but just enough so the Doritos can permeate with the eggs. Absolute goodness. All right, so once you have that in there, you're gonna add a little of pepper. All right, so right here I have fresh pepper, and I'm just going to spinnerate some of the pepper inside of the egg. Now, those of you out there are asking, how come you can't make better, healthier meals? And I have an answer for that. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm going to add some spinach to this to make it healthier. Just like that. Absolute goodness. And then I'm going to mixturate this up to get the spinach permeated in there. Now, once I have all of that going on, the pan is over here heaterating up at a medium temperature, medium to medium. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan. Absolute goodness. So I'm going to add olive oil to the pan. You could use butter or you can use cooking spray. Absolute goodness. Now, you're going to want to circulate this around, all right? Make sure it's circulated in there nicely. And you're going to heat this up. You're going to wait for it to get a little bit warm. And while that's going on, you're going to prep the cheese. I like to prep the cheese. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this and I'm going to prep it by simply opening up the cheese. All right? Absolute goodness. Come up to the screen and smell that. Look at that cheese. That's not one cheddar. That's not two cheddar, but that's actually triple cheddar. Absolute goodness. Just like it says on the package. So once the pan is heaterated up, I'm going to go ahead and take the egg, and I am going to pour the egg inside of the pan along with the spinach to make it a little bit healthier. And it looks like it's up too high, so I'm going to turn it to medium. And it's starting to boilerate a little bit. And so immediately what I want to do is I want to go ahead and add the triple cheddar cheese to it, just a little bit. You don't want to overdo it to the pan. All right. So once it's in there, you're going to spread the love. The love is the cheese, all right? All right, so you have that in there, and you want to spread the love. And when you spread it, you're actually letting it melterate slightly inside of the pan. Absolute goodness. And if you want to, you can add a little bit more pepper to the top of the triple, not one, not two, but triple cheese layer in there. So once you have that, you have the choice of making an omelette, or scrambleizing it. I'm going to scramblize them. So when I scramblize my eggs, you're get in close so you can see this. I'm going to scramblize them by simply turning them over like this, pushing them back and forth, and then letting it rest. And when you let it rest, you let the heat permeate the eggs and toasterate some parts of the bottom of the egg and perhaps some of the cheesination. All right, so once you have that, you're gonna notice a nice crustation developing on the rear of the egg and the cheesination. So you take that and you'll start to stick a little bit. And I have the spoon, and I'm just gonna turn the eggs right here, and they look wet, all right? They look extra moist, right? And it's okay because the egg is cookerizing, right? So the moisture, the moistness, the moist nasty is part of the process. The egg is cooked, but the moistination is actually the cheese melterating within the eggs and the Doritos. And so with that said, they look moist, and indeed it is moist, but the moist is the cheese. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my bowl, and I like them to be slightly crustized. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this, and the eggs, look at that, look at that. I'm just gonna go ahead and put these on my plate so you can see this. Put some of the eggs on the plate, and look at that. You can see the moistness, moist eggs right here with the cheese and specks of Doritos inside. Look at that. Come up to the screen and smell that. Can you smell the Doritos? Can you smell the eggs? Can you smell the cheese? And can you smell the moist eggs? Absolute goodness, if you ask me. Absolute goodness.